What's going on YouTube? It's Tej back again with another video, and today I'm giving you the 2021 New England Patriots season preview. Excited to bring this one your way. If you missed the first two videos, we talked about the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. After the Patriots comes the New York Jets, then we'll move to the AFC South. Hopefully you all are enjoying this series, but hopefully you enjoyed today's video as well. If you do, please hit that like button. It would help me out a ton. And if you're new to the channel and help us get closer to 100 subs, like what you see, want more sports content in your life, please hit that big red subscribe button and comment your thoughts down below. Tell me what you think the win range should be for the New England Patriots. Basically, anything you see on the screen, tell me why you think I got it wrong, or tell me why you think I'm right. I'd love to have that conversation with you. I respond to every comment so we can have a nice discussion about it. But let's go ahead and start talking about the New England Patriots. You see that win range, 9-13. I could definitely see this team being 9-8, especially if Mac Jones isn't out to a great start, or Cam Newton gets out to a rocky beginning. They make the change, and it still takes a second for the offense to start clicking with Mac Jones, whatever the case may be. But you can see in my projected win total, I have them at 13. So I am on the high side of that variance for the New England Patriots, and admittingly so. They have a bunch of players coming back on the defensive side of the football, which I think obviously bolsters what's already a pretty good strength of that team. And they spent a ton of money in free agency, bringing in a guy like Matthew Judon, who I like, who is a solid player. You bring in someone like Jalen Mills, a rotational corner, could play some safety for you as well. Obviously a big addition in both those tight ends, Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. Thought about putting them down for the X Factors. Really intrigued by what that two tight end offense could look like. And I think it bodes well for whether it's Cam Newton in a more run-centric offense using his legs, or if it's, Mac Jones and they pound the football with Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson, assuming that Sony Michel's probably going to be playing elsewhere this season. And then they set up play-action opportunities for Mac Jones, where he was really good at Alabama. So intrigued by those two tight ends as well. So players coming back from opting out in 2020, lots of money spent in free agency, and I think they were all really solid adds. It was a good line to walk there. It's a tough line to walk, but I think New England did it really well, where you spend a lot of money, but you're not just giving out dumb contracts to players who don't deserve it. I think they made good, solid contract decisions, and they gave them to the right players for them. So overall, really fantastic offseason. Also, they drafted really well. I mean, you get Mac Jones at 15. You don't have to trade up to get him. Fantastic. You move up, and you get a guy like Chris Barmore, who probably talent-wise is a first-round pick. Take away the concerns around if he can have that regiment continue at the next level. Alabama's very disciplined, and he fell in line there. With that now gone, there were concerns from NFL teams that he would be able to fall in line and be able to handle business. Well, the closest thing to Alabama at the NFL level, in my opinion, would probably be the New England Patriots and Coach Bill Belichick. So I think Barmore is going to be a fantastic add. Ronnie Perkins falls in at pick 99. How does that happen? I don't know, but he's another fantastic addition. Overall, just a really good offseason for the Patriots, and I think they get back into the playoffs this season. So admittedly, I'm high on that win range, but I think even 11 wins puts them into that category, puts them in the hunt at least by the time we get to week 18. And then realistic goal, very similar to what I put for the Dolphins, make the playoffs, and then actually the exact same realistic goal and reach goal being make the playoffs for the realistic one and make it to the AFC Championship game for the reach goal. And I mean, I might honestly think that the Dolphins have a better chance to make it there, just given they have more variables that could hit in a big way. For New England, may not be as likely in my eyes, but I'm definitely not counting it out. If these opt-outs come back and that defense is top 5, right, and if Mac Jones is efficient, they run the ball at a high level with Damian Harris, Stevenson, shoot, if Sony Michel's still there, he could be in the mix. If they can do all that well, and then Mac Jones is efficient or Cam Newton's efficient, then I think this team has a pathway there. Though I think it's going to be a little tough to try to knock off, a team like Cleveland and Buffalo and obviously Kansas City, Tennessee, given where I see them at. And that's why I think Miami might have a better chance, because Tua could take a huge leap forward here in year 2, right? So I think they might have a better shot, but both teams are going to be wild card contenders in my eyes, and that's where I have them. In my way too early season preview video I did a little bit ago, I had them both making the playoffs, 3 teams from the AFC East getting in, which is pretty crazy to think considering how bad the division has historically been. But I like the Patriots a lot. Love to have your thoughts. Let's talk about some of these X factors now. Obviously the QBs, right? It's just kind of a cheap play when you talk about X factors, and I try not to put QBs there. I didn't have Josh Allen for the Bills because duh, he's good, and he is obviously an X factor, but here it's a different situation, right? I think Mac Jones will end up being the starter week 1, and that's what I would do. Obviously, I'm not there at training camp. I'm not seeing these guys throw. You had that clip that went out and got a lot of buzz of Cam missing a couple throws, but, you know, you can cherry pick a couple of bad plays for any guy, so I don't know. I'm not really buying into too much of it. But regardless, if Mac Jones is your starter, and then you can sprinkle in Cam Newton some running plays. Keep in mind, he had 12 rushing touchdowns last year. That's ridiculous. Say what you want about his arm and, you know, him being washed as a QB. He's still dynamic as a runner. So I think it should be Mac Jones under center. You run the ball a lot with Damian Harris. You set up play action opportunities for a guy like Kendrick Bourne, who's a really solid route runner. Obviously the 2 tight ends, and then Nelson Agavor to take the top off the defense. I think it's a really optimal situation for Mac Jones to be a part of right away. And then you use Cam Newton, those 2 tight end shotgun sets. Give me some QB powers with big Cam Newton. I'm all about it. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and he had a lot of success doing that last year. So, with that said, the QBs are obviously a big part of it. I'm interested to see how Bill Belichick handles this. Obviously, it's been a while since he's had to navigate a 2 QB conundrum, situation, whatever words you want to use. Second X factor, Nelson Agavor, right? Like, is he going to be what he was last year in Las Vegas? Or is he going to, like, fall back into his ways of what he was with Philadelphia, where it's like, yeah, he has that speed, but couldn't catch a football to save his life? I think he's made progress. He's gotten better as a route runner, and I think he's shored up those hands. You'll have drops, but the boom will outweigh the bust in that area. And he is really the only downfield threat. Like, Jacoby Myers is a solid big body slot guy. N'Keal Harry hasn't really panned out. And then, like I said, Kendrick Bourne's more of a guy who can do a lot of things well, but route running specialist would probably be his like best archetype you could put him under. And then Nelson Agavor is this team's lone deep threat. So he's going to have to be able to make defenses respect the deep ball. And if he can have that Deshaun Jackson, Will Fuller type effect where him just being out there and being a big play waiting to happen, and that opens up things underneath and in the middle of the field, that'll help out whoever's under center, and it opens up opportunities for those tight ends to boost up their receiving stats, Kendrick Bourne, or even the running backs in the passing game. So Nelson Agavor, if he's productive and efficient, that's a big boost to that passing attack. And the last name here, Kyle Duggar, and he's the picture here on your screen. I loved Kyle Duggar coming out of Lenore Ryan. Like, he is just such a fun player to watch. Sometimes safeties, they get overshadowed just given their position value, but sometimes, man, they just are the funnest tape to watch, right? Because they're just laying guys out. They make plays in coverage. Sorry for clapping there. Probably made a loud noise on your end. I apologize. But Kyle Duggar's just a fun guy to watch, to sum up what I'm trying to say. And, you know, didn't get a whole lot of shine early on last year. Started to have things click as the year went on. I think this year he puts it together. He has an opportunity to be a starting safety this year. One of those 2 spots now opened up. So I think Duggar becomes a safety, and I think he becomes I don't want to say a household name, because that would imply something like he's, you know, the best player at that position. But for those who really love the game of football, Kyle Duggar will be a name you are very familiar with. By the end of the year, you can put it down. I promise you that will happen. He's a stud, and he's going to be a big part of what I think is going to be a really good defense. And then for the games to watch, obviously, like I said last video, no division games. Anytime the Pats play the Bills, watch that game. Anytime the Pats play the Dolphins, and if it's Mac Jones versus Tua, the Bama Bowl, watch it. Here are some other games, right? Tampa Bay Week 4, obviously. That one's an easy one to put on here. Also, I should note, if Tom Brady's passing average per game last year is sustained and equal to that of this year, Week 4 is the point where he will pass Drew Brees to become the NFL's all-time passing leader. So get that opportunity against New England. Feels like a storybook moment waiting to happen for Brady in the Bucs. So that's going to obviously be a tough one, though. Advantage for New England playing at home. They are really tough to beat at Gillette, even last year in a bit of a down season. Week 10 also at home against Cleveland. The Patriots have a chance to win the division, and if they do, I think they're going to be battling for, you know, with the Cleveland Browns and the Tennessee Titans, who's the next big game, for that 2 spot. Because if the Patriots win the division, that means they're outplaying the Bills, and that is a big note in their direction, and that means they are going toe-to-toe with an explosive offense in Tennessee and then a really well-rounded team in Cleveland. So these 2 next games are, you know, one liars and games to see where you stand against high-level competition in your conference. Do you actually have a shot to make it to the AFC Championship, your reach goal, or are you a wild card team that isn't quite there to be able to compete with a team like Cleveland or Tennessee? Week 10, Week 12, we'll find out. All 3 of these games actually at home. I kind of wish I put a road game in there, but we know this team's tough to beat at Gillette, so I could easily see a situation where I think the Bucs game is going to be a really, really tough one to win, especially with the storyline, Brady, passing yards leader, yada, yada, yada. But between the Browns and Titans, week 10 and then week 12, respectively, if they come away with one of those two games at home, I think that bodes for them really well. And they might have a shot to win both. I mean, like I said, they're really tough to beat in Foxborough. So that's going to do it for this video. Tell me what you think about the New England Patriots heading into next NFL season. What's their win range? Who are some X factors, players you're watching, and what are games that you're really looking forward to this team playing? Love to have your thoughts down below. Love to have that conversation with you. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button. It would help me out a ton. And if you're new to the channel and want more sports content like this in your life, please consider subscribing. That's going to do it for this one. Hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. And until next time, my name is Tej, and I'm signing off.